So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. If this is your first time tuning in. So today we're going to talk about how I would personally invest $1,000 today. If I only had $1,000, this is how I would invest it. Again, not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, do your own research. Not my way of doing things is going to work for everybody. It may or may not. Just go ahead and do your own research. I am a little bit dirty. We just cut some grass, so have grass all over me, but I thought it'd take a few minutes to do a quick video before finishing up. So $1,000 today. So $1,000 is not a lot of money on its own, but if you can multiply it or add to it, you put yourself in a better position than you were before. So the first thing I would do is probably break it up into three sections. I'm kind of diversifying how my money is spent. I'm not putting all my eggs into one basket. Now we're assuming $1,000 is pretty much all you have. So for most people, generally speaking, $1,000 is something that's realistic and attainable for a majority of people. It's not, super crazy where we're saying $100,000 or $1 million. Most people can probably get up to $1,000. So the first thing I'm gonna do, like I said, split up into three. After that, I'm gonna take 1/3 of it and put it into cash. But I'm not just gonna leave it into a regular bank account. I'm gonna leave it into a high yield savings account. So the reason I'm gonna leave some in cash is because, again, we're assuming this is all we have, right? We only have $1,000. You don't wanna invest everything and then now you're scrambling to just, put food on the table. So I would leave 1/3 of it in cash. This way, you have a busted tire, or which just happened to me recently, or something small that happens, you can still afford to fix that with $300, assuming you have a reasonable vehicle, right? Any little accidents come up, you can still use those $300 for whatever kind of little accident that comes up. Again, $300 alone is not a lot either, but it's better than having zero. But besides that, we're also going to put into a high yield savings account. So we're going to be earning anywhere between 4 to maybe 6% interest on our money. Sometimes even 3%, between 3 and 6% interest on our money. So it's not a whole lot, especially when it's only $300. Well, $333, but it's still better than leaving it in a savings account earning 0.01. So that's the first thing I would do. Again, it's not going to make you a whole lot of money. It's a little bit more of a safer bet, safer play, just for, in case something comes up. Hopefully nothing does, but in case something does, it adds a little bit of security, gives you a little bit more comfort, it gives you a little bit more confidence moving forward in case you get more money that you can invest, because you already have a little nest egg. In case something goes wrong, you can at least afford a little bit of something, right? Or whatever reason your paycheck gets delayed. I've seen that happen to people. Sometimes employers' electronic systems are not working correctly. Paychecks get delayed. People are scrambling because they're expecting it, right? So gives you a little bit of buffer for just everyday life. The next one I would do is going to be the other third, the second third of the $1,000 is going to be investing it into dividend paying stocks. Now, it's not going to pay a whole lot of money. It's going to be cents that you'll be getting paid every quarter. Again, there's many different dividend paying stocks that you can choose from. We can make a whole video on just dividend stocks. But the reason I kind of like that is because it gets you introduced into getting cash flow. There are some that do pay monthly, and then there are some that pay quarterly. But again, the point of this one is just to get you introduced into getting passive income every single month, just for investing. And it's a pretty easy way to transition into passive income. Now again, $300 is not going to get you a whole lot of money in dividends. It'll give you a couple cents throughout the quarter. You might hit maybe $1 or $2 depending on what you buy, but it's just so that way you can see that there are other ways to make money. It's just basically like a quick little introduction into seeing that you don't necessarily have to be going out and working for your money. You can have your money working for you. It's more of a psychological investment, I guess you could kind of say, because now you're getting used to, like, oh, there's other ways to make money. I buy this dividend stock, put my money in there, and it pays me every month, or it pays me every quarter, whatever. It's more of a psychological investment, but it's something that I would typically do if I only had $1,000 looking back, right? When I was first starting off, I really had to dive into all this stuff and figure it out for myself. But now that I learned a little bit, that's kind of something I would do. Now, the last quarter or the last third, I know a lot of people say you should invest in yourself, which that's also important, but we're gonna do something a little more realistic. I know a lot of people don't want to just invest in themselves. I know a lot of people don't want to just be buying books. They want to put the money to work. They want to do something with it, right? So I'm not gonna say invest in yourself, but investing in yourself as far as education is important. I am gonna say that. Without knowledge and information, there's only so far you can go. So the last third is going to be investing into cryptocurrency. Now, some people don't like it, some people love it. Just depends. I'll give you my reasoning behind it. So cryptocurrency can be very explosive if you pick it at the correct times and you pick the correct investment. Not every single crypto is going to do very well. You have to be very strategic, do a lot of research, and understand what's going on and what's happening in the environment. But if it does pay off, it can make you multiple thousands of dollars. So the way I look at it is I'm sacrificing, risking $333 for the potential to maybe make, $1,000 to maybe even $20,000 or more dollars invested into the right coin, right? So for me, that's a good risk ratio for me, to where, like, okay, I'm gonna lose $300, but I still have $600 and something invested, so I'm not gonna be going broke, but I'm risking $300 something to maybe make $10,000, $20,000. That's a good risk profile for me, in my opinion. Again, if this may not be a good risk profile for you. Maybe, like, I don't want to risk anything. I don't want to invest in anything risky at all. That's fine too. Now, if I'm going to be doing that, I would probably even break that down into further three. I'd go with some of the more quote-unquote safer stuff. Again, nothing in investing is ever super safe, but for the lack of a better term, safer stuff, which would be Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, the other third of my $333, which is $100 and something, I'm gonna put into some more medium stuff, which is gonna be like a mid-cap coin. Any of these medium-sized coins, like a chain link, anything like a render, things like that. Now, for the other third, which is another $100, I'm going to put it into something that can potentially make some decent money and hopefully outperform everything. Now you're going to be getting into the risky stuff. It's more like gambling at that with the $100, but you can put into some meme coins. That stuff can go up crazy. There's a bunch of meme coins out there. I would also do into AI. AI is something that's trending. So any of those things, the $100 can potentially become $1,000, maybe even $10,000 on its own, not including your other $100 you have into some mid caps, and then another $100 you have into your more quote-unquote safer stuff, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's how I would do $1,000 today. Again, that's not going to be a good profile for everybody. Not everybody's in the same situation. Not everybody thinks the same. Everyone has different lives. Some people have families, some don't. Some are married, some are single. Some are helping out families, some are not. So it just depends what's going on in your life, if this is something that you can even relate to or not. If this is something that you can even incorporate into your life to however you want to. Now, without further ado, be careful, be good, take care, God bless. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.